What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Gooner channel, a channel 100% dedicated to the Arsenal, who, as we all know, are by far the greatest team the world has ever seen. And today's surprise news is that Mikel Arteta faces no further sanction for his outburst after the Newcastle game. Now, just a recap as if you needed it, after the game against Newcastle, in which the ball, first of all, seemed to go out of play, and then there was a seeming foul on Gabriel, which led to the goal. Now, after the match, Mikel Arteta's outburst was that this was embarrassing and a disgrace. An independent commission found that he should face no sanction because the FA's charge was that he should be punished for daring to criticise. But what the independent commission found was that he hadn't been criticising the officials, rather the system itself. And to this point, the FA itself had criticised VAR when following up on the game between Liverpool and Tottenham, and there were clearly problems with it. We all know there are issues around VAR. The other defence was that in a point that Arteta made himself, which was that the word disgrace in English is very different from the Spanish word desgracia, which in Spanish kind of means misfortune and doesn't carry the connotations of crookedness that disgrace might otherwise carry in English. And they found that it wasn't his intention to accuse anyone of deliberate wrongdoing. And when you look back on his comments, described by everybody since then as a rant, he doesn't really talk about the officials. He just says it's embarrassing and it's a disgrace. Now, he had been part of a panel where managers had got together with PGMOL to discuss VAR just 2 days before, and he'd made his case there strongly. When referring to that meeting, he said it had literally achieved absolutely nothing, and this was part of his frustration. Now, the second part of the charge the FA levied against Mikel Arteta was that because he's so high profile, his comments should carry extra weight in bringing the game into disrepute. Now, just to be clear, had they found him guilty, it would have been on the basis that he's a higher profile, i.e. somebody lower down the profile ranks could have said the same thing and not been charged with it. So really what we're seeing today is that Arteta not being charged at least levels the playing field. Now, there are huge issues in our game at the moment around not being able to criticise things which the internal governing bodies themselves are able to criticise. We live in a world in which no matter how obviously deserving of criticism a decision can be, you're not allowed to criticise it if you're a certain profile. That has been thrown out by the independent commission. But there was also some more interesting things that came about. In his defence, Arteta spoke about the feelings of frustration because Newcastle players, and particularly Joe Willock. Now, just to remind you, it's Joe Willock that keeps the ball in play. But apparently Joe Willock had told his former teammates that the ball did in fact go out. So on that basis, you can say if Joe Willock thinks it went out, maybe it did actually go out. Now, look, as an Arsenal fan, I don't really want to talk about that goal ever again. It happened. Things happen. The fact that VAR was quite useless on the day speaks to the fact that there is this problem at the moment with a referee not making an on-field decision so that the VAR can overrule it, but VAR not wanting to overrule it because they assume that the decision he did or didn't make is a decision he made. I realise I've overcomplicated that. But in essence, if a referee is not 100% sure, he gives one thing and hopes it's overturned by VAR, but VAR can't overturn something as easily as they can support it. So look, this isn't about that game. This isn't about that goal. But what has happened today is an independent commission have seen some sense. They've said that Mikel Arteta did not call out any of the officials on the day. It might have felt like he was having a go at them, but actually if you look at what he said, he talks about it being an embarrassment and a disgrace, and he's really talking about the system, a system that the FA itself has criticised and will continue to criticise when there are high-profile mistakes. It seems like it's absolutely okay for the FA to criticise, but if you're a high-profile manager, not you. Well, today the Independent Commission has addressed that and put that straight to some degree. Arteta will be on the touchline for the game against Brighton, and I think justice has been done. I'm interested to know what you think about it. Free Mikel Arteta. Listen, if there's one change I'd love to see in the whole debate around VAR and officials and refereeing. It's just, I think they should not be protected from criticism. I think it's absolutely okay. If you're going to ask a football manager their opinion after a match and they give you their honest opinion and they're not mendacious in attacking anybody or pulling somebody out for closer scrutiny, then I think it's absolutely okay for Arteta to have an opinion. And by the way, he could easily have been wrong. The fact that Willock thinks the ball went out, how many of us had to be patronised by people saying, oh, the ball might look like it's in and look like it's out? I think Willock would know. I'm not asking us to disallow that goal or anything like it. I'd like us to not talk about it anymore. But I think going forward, whether you're Roberto De Zerbi saying you don't like 80% of the referees, or Mikel Arteta saying that something is a disgrace, even if you mean it in the Spanish context, not the English, it's absolutely okay. That actually, if anything is bringing the game into disrepute, it's the shadowy and shady dealings of the FA and trying to punish anyone who speaks out at any time. That's what a totalitarian system does, and I don't think that's good for the game. In fact, I would say that brings the game into disrepute. Hopefully we can all put this behind us and we don't have anything more like this. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. And, freedom for Mikel Arteta. Till I see you again. Oh, by the way, if you haven't clicked like on this video and you liked it, takes a moment, and it would make such a difference in this Christmas season, the season of giving. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe. Until I see you again, be lucky. Lots of love.